Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This is your host, Bad Love Chuck. And over to my right is my guy, Country. We're here with the afternoon edition of Kingdom Cast. As everyone knows, we're the AFC champs again, as we're going back to the Super Bowl for the second time in a row, fourth time overall. We beat the Bills by the final score of 38-24. It was a pretty convincing victory. I know it started out rough. I mean, we kind of do that from time to time. But once we got settled in, once we got that score on the board, I mean, it was pretty much a wrap. So country, what'd you think about the game overall, brother?
Um, Typical Chiefs game, start off slow, get behind, and then come roaring back. And by the time they finish rolling, they done sucked all the energy out of the game. So it's nothing you can do but just ride the wave. Hope they make a mistake. And Buffalo just got dominated from the start. They got gifted a touchdown by McCall Hardman. He made a mistake and took his eye off the ball and fumbled. But after that, it was just it was business as usual.
Yeah, man, like that was crazy. The entire Chiefs timeline was just going crazy over Miko, man. Like, there was doubts and everything. Like the dude shouldn't be here at Chiefs Kingdom anymore or whatever. And I kind of had a little bit of a moment. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, okay, can we redo this draft so we can have DK Metcalf on the team or whatever? But what I liked is that the Chiefs went back to him. Like they instilled that confidence in him to, go back out there, redeem himself, and make a play. And that's what happened. And then from there on, the momentum just carried on and on and on. And here's where the Bills got caught up at, man. Like when they started out 9-0 and the Chiefs came back and responded, they kind of just started going to panic mode and it was trying to look for the big play. Like when you play against the Chiefs, you kind of got to slow the tempo down a little bit. Like you can still find a way to score a bunch of points, but at the same time, you don't want to score too quick. You know what I mean? And well, we got some technical difficulties going on right now, so I'm gonna just talk to you guys a little bit about what happened. But anyway, the Bills, they just got caught up in going away from the run game, and even though the Bills were having a rough time running the football, at some point, you just gotta try not to play it to the Chiefs' hands, and that's essentially what they did. They kind of played it to the Chiefs' hands, and they pretty much took over after that. Is everything
Right.
good?
I'm sorry. I'm getting a new stove. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got my maintenance guy here. But uh, what I was saying was that they went right back to McCall, got him right back involved, built his confidence right back up. He came through and scored not too long after that. Had the big run not too long after that. So it was just good game planning by Andy Reid and Pat and EB and all them to get him right back to where he was supposed to be. And I mean, he did his thing, man. He had a hell of a game. At the end of the game, I tweeted that remember when McCall fumbled? Me neither.
Right.
I mean, because it was only Buffalo should be thanking him for fumbling because the score would have been even worse if they wouldn't have got that gift at the 3 yard line. So
Right. And overall, man, like we even had more opportunity to score more than 38 points, really, because we had two dropped interceptions, and I think we fumbled the ball in our own 5 yard line, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like one more scenario that happened with the Chiefs. But other than that, man, we just dominated that game, bro. And and I just want to ask you this: is Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey the most difficult matchup to face in the NFL? Like, is it officially unlocked for now?
yeah, they got to be the most dynamic duo in the whole league, man. Because look what they done the last two games, both over 100 yards, multiple catches. Travis had 13. What Tyreek, man, got loose a couple times. Like, man, it's hard to guard him. And then even if you can manage to guard him, look who you got running wide open. You would have Sammy, you would have McCall, you would have DeMarcus, you would have the running backs, Clyde and D. Will, and it's like, bro, pick your poison. Who you gonna guard? I
Yeah,
really, and we really just haven't seen the whole complete with Sammy, that whole experience. Hopefully Tampa Bay gets to see it because I don't know how you can guard that, man. You know,
yeah, and like not to just dive into the Tampa Bay game right off the
no,
gate.
we're gonna say that for later on in the week.
Right, right, but they got difficult matchup, man. Like it's just levels to game plan against Kansas City Chiefs when they got that many weapons out on the field. Like it's extremely difficult to slow them down. Like your best hope is for Patrick Mahomes to self-inflict on making mistakes himself. And like you just gotta hope to get enough hits on him. And it's very difficult to get plenty of hits on Patrick Mahomes to make him uncomfortable.
Right. You just gotta hope that he. Well, I mean, even when he had bad games, it's not really a bad game. His worst game was probably Miami, and we still won that game in a dominant fashion. So even his bad games, like we've been talking all season about playing C plus games and still winning. So if let him focus, then how are you gonna do that? But hold on, right quick.
Okay.
Winning.
Put your mic on mute though. But yeah, as country was saying though, man, like the Chiefs, they basically just a tough matchup for any team in the National Football League. So you back?
We
What's up,
back.
man? What's up, man?
So
What's
what's up?
going
Peanut butter face, snot face.
on? Right. But yeah, man.
Nah, man. It's hard. You can't match up with us, bro. For real. And then the offense is bad enough. And then when the defense wakes up and wants to be dominant, what, what are you gonna do? Like, it's nothing you can do. Like, you just better hope we. What you gonna hope we miss field goals all night, or it's like, bro, it's nothing. It's nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do against us. Stay here, bro. Stay. Come on.
What's up, man, Twan?
What's up, bro? That's my bro, man.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
yeah,
man. Like, but yeah, if you're scoring threes, and while the Chiefs getting seven, like you're just done. Like the game's already over with, man. You might as well just pack it up, man, because that's what essentially happened with the Bills last night. They was getting threes instead of sevens. Like every time they had to settle for a field goal, the Chiefs responded back with a seven, and they really had to play catch up. And when you're in that position, especially in a rowdy environment as Arrowhead Stadium, even though we're in a pandemic, it's not full capacity. They still was kind of getting to Josh Allen a bit. Like Josh Allen, you could tell he was kind of nervous. Like you could just tell that he ain't been this far before.
yeah, he wasn't ready, man. He not ready for that pressure, man, of being against Pat puts pressure on you, you know. Um, and he didn't respond well. He didn't respond well at all. Baker didn't respond well. Speaking of Antoine, who's a Browns fan, Baker didn't respond well either, bro. But let's see, because um, Josh Allen didn't play bad, but he didn't play like he been playing these last 10 weeks or whatever. And actually, if you look through the playoffs, he's been having these lower level performances the last 2 weeks. He didn't look that well against Indy. He didn't look that well against. I'm just playing with you, Anthony. He didn't look that well versus Baltimore either. So maybe the spotlight was a little too bright. And then speaking of Buffalo, like Diggs is a beast, but I think they need to compliment him with another wide receiver. And then come to find out, Cole Beasley is playing with a broken fibula. You know what I'm saying? So he had some big catches. Well, he had a big catch, but it wasn't enough. They need a little bit more, and you got to have to be able to run the ball, man. And they simply couldn't run the ball yesterday at all.
Yeah, like because basically they just kind of went away from it. Like then throughout the entire playoffs, I think Brian Dable he ain't giving the running game a chance. Because I remember, I think in the Baltimore game last time they didn't run the ball at all in the first half. They didn't have an attempt, which is crazy. And then today, like I mean not today, but yesterday, they ain't giving it a chance at all, man. And we had
No
Stephon Diggs
roasting.
L's too.
No roasting.
That's part.
No roasting, Daddy.
Yeah. Buffalo, man, they about a year away. Hey, man, chill. They about a year away from really competing.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. I think they are a year away too. And you're right. They definitely need another receiver because, like, the current core right now, I mean, it's cool, but John Brown, we seen him out there last night. He's been a guy that's had some injury issues. I mean, he's talented, but
Yeah,
the
he's
best,
fast.
yeah, the best ability is availability, and he's hardly ever available. And
Right.
when he comes back from injuries, like it takes a minute for him to get going. You know what I mean? So but the Bills, man, overall, man, they had a great season. It's just that it's just like I said, it's levels to going up against this team, man. It's levels to going up against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's definitely levels, and they close, and they gonna be there. It's gonna be they gonna be that's gonna be a rivalry. It already kind of was because it felt like we play the Bills every year. Like we really used to play the Bills every year. It's like, man, I'm tired of playing the Bills. So I mean, we had some good games versus them. The Sean Smith game where he had the okay, just stay right here. We had some good games versus them, man. I think they Josh Allen and it depends on where Deshaun Watson goes. Baker, I think that's going to be the competition um, for Pat for the next 10 years, man. 10, 15 years, those will be the guys that we'll be going after. It'd be one of those guys.
Which doesn't really sound enticing, you know what I mean? But let's say if the Colts can trade for Matthew Stafford, then it might get a little interesting because a team like the Colts, they kind of built to beat the Chiefs in a sense. They just need that quarterback like Phillip Rivers. He was on his way out and everything. I mean, Matthew Stafford, I feel like he still got some years left. And if they acquire him along with that talent, they could be a problem for sure.
I wonder where he's going to go. Um, Denver, they got a decent defense that they kind of building up, and they trying to get back to that level. So that would be kind of scary. I guess Oakland could go for them.
Yeah,
That would help them out.
yeah.
You said what?
I was saying Oakland slash Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oakland, Vegas, same thing. The
Right.
Raiders.
Right.
Um, Indy. Indy got a good offensive line, and they probably need some more weapons too, because Ty Hilton, he's been hurt a lot lately and recently. But they got some good weapons. If you can add to that, who else? Not Jacksonville, because they probably gonna get Lawrence. Um, where else could he go?
Shoot, they might get the boy Justin Fields just because he's from Ohio State. Oh, Urban's down there now.
Yeah, yeah. What about? Are we sure Miami's in love with Tua?
I've been hearing that they're in the running for Deshaun if the Texans do decide to trade. So I've been hearing the Jets and Dolphins. So it wouldn't be surprising.
Uh, if he
And
goes to the Jets, I mean the Jets got the number 3 pick.
yeah,
So they got enough. They got a lot of draft picks, a lot of draft capital. So even if EB goes to Houston, which is a possibility, maybe, because if if the Buffalo versus Kansas City game last night was whoever wins this, we're gonna hire him, then EB is above Leslie Frazier, in my opinion. Said he might have won the job last night.
yeah, you would think, man. You would think because I mean, we seen that the Chiefs page is making a case for Airbnb to get hired somewhere, and then you seen all these national media come out and making a case for Airbnb now. So it's time, bro.
Hey man, when John Legend, who I've never seen John Legend tweet about football,
It's
when
right.
he tweet how Eric B and him, he's like, bro, come on now. At this point, like y'all just making a fool of yourself if y'all don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of like forcing the issue at this point.
Right. And speaking of singers, I mean, I know you heard about Trey Songz last night. His little incident, Arrowhead.
Yeah. My dog was in the city last night at the game enjoying himself, and y'all was messing with him, man. Come on, man.
Right. I'm trying. Man, we ain't get the full story on that, dog. Like
Yeah,
I
we
feel
gotta
like it
wait
was
till
messed
his.
up for no reason, bro.
I wonder did he post bail yet?
Yeah, I wanted that too. I mean, I heard things. So,
And,
Clinton, what's
well, the
good,
truth
man?
will come
Thanks
out.
for tuning in, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Clinton. Yeah, definitely, bro. I agree with you. Um, yeah, the Trey Songz thing was at first it was like Trey Songz is at the game, and I'm a Trey Songz fan, so it's like, damn, my boy at the game, you know what I'm saying? And then it became Trey Songz got arrested at the game. It's like, what? Wait a minute.
Hey, dog, he put that officer in the Cobra clutch, though, man. He was
Man,
sweeping up for a minute,
Trey was
dog.
holding on for dear life, man. You hear me?
Yeah,
Trey's a
yeah,
nut. Hey man, sometimes you got to protect yourself, man. They said that from what I was hearing, the cops said the fans was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So um, he had to protect himself, man. I'm glad. I thank God nothing happened to him violently or nothing like that. So that's a blessing. But man, it was crazy. It's crazy to watch that video, and he got this dude in the headlock with this serious look on his face, like he was trying to choke him out. So that
right.
was
It was pretty.
wild, man. I missed the comment that came through, but it's okay.
Yeah, Clinton said it was like there was a few people messing with him, and like I guess it was getting on him about wearing a mask or something, and he didn't want to wear a mask allegedly. But like I said, we gotta get the full story on that or whatever.
Yeah,
But
we'll wait till we get the full detail.
anyway, back to the game though, man. Eric Fisher, he suffered a torn Achilles. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have him for the Super Bowl, and then moving forward, we don't know when he's gonna return. So that's gonna be a big loss. And then Mitchell Schwartz, Andy Reid came out today and said that it's likely that he's not gonna return at all. So Mitchell Schwartz, he might be on his way to retirement by the way it sounded. So we don't have both our tackles, and it's gonna be quite an adjustment to see what Andy Reid does. Like who's gonna replace Eric Fisher on that left side, and just try to move forward from there.
So, man, it's sad what happened to Fish, and you could tell it was bad when Andy Reid was hugging him. It's like, dang, man, and he just had that look in his face, like, man, one game away, and this happens. But as far as Mitch, I love Mitch to death, man. But I think that ship sailed 6 weeks ago, and they just, I mean, I guess they waiting on the perfect time to announce it or whatever, or after the season, so it's not a distraction or anything. But pretty much, um, uh, we'll have Niang, um, and we'll probably draft a guy. Um, yeah, so we probably will have some new tackles this year. Um, yeah, that line is gonna look different next year. It's not gonna look how it looks Sunday or 2 weeks from now, definitely. So next year, that's something we'll get into. We actually got a draft guy that
Yeah.
will be introducing to the show pretty soon. That's gonna help us out. Am I staticking, bro? But
Um. No, you good.
no, so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of changes on the O line. So
Yeah, man, for sure, man. But I know one thing. If there's one guy that can adjust to an injury or two or whatever, it's Andy Reid. It's just like in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's going to have to be more quick passing and stuff. But as far as that goes, like despite us losing Fish or whatever, the offense overall, Patrick Mahomes looked crisp. He looked sharp. Like he silenced all the critics and silenced all the doubt. that was happening. Towards game time. People was talking about Mahomes might not make it the entire way, or that toe injury is really going to affect him, and all this other stuff they were saying about Patrick Mahomes. And of course, ESPN want to talk about the Bills had the better quarterback advantage, which was a bunch of nonsense. Like, I didn't pay attention to that stuff all week, country. I watched nothing in regards to the national media because I already knew what kind of bullcrap they was gonna be on, man. I already
Oh
knew.
man, I watched it all, baby. I watched it all. I needed the motivation. So by Wednesday, I was ready to. I was ready for the game, baby. Hey, the best version of Patrick Mahomes, is Patty Mahomes. He's the
Yeah,
best version,
right.
and he was locked in by Wednesday. Petty Mahomes, man. I'm waiting for this week because I know Skip gonna give us. He gonna give us some bulletin board material, for sure. Antoine, with the OU lineman. Which one though, bro? We need a left tackle. We need a
Yeah,
left or a right tackle.
right, right. Most definitely, man.
So I don't know if they hate him, Clinton, but I think that we win so much that it's boring to talk about us. So they have to create and manufacture drama so they can discuss the Chiefs. Because you got to discuss the Chiefs because they're the number one team. But if they're so good, you got to make up. You know what I'm saying? You got to make a figment of your imagination of why angles to attack them at. Because you can't attack. What else can you do? They didn't win by enough. Like who uses that excuse? I've never heard that before in my life, except in college. Like in college, you got to win by style points and score and all that stuff. In the NFL, you just got to win. It ain't about how you win. It's just win. You feel me?
Yeah, and Roger Sherman, I think he's from the Ringer or whatever. He mentioned this too. He said the hardest part about covering the NFL is that the Chiefs are obviously 15 times better than everybody, but if we write that every week, it gets boring. We gotta pretend the elephant isn't there. And yeah, it's true to a sense, but at the same time, if you're gonna make an argument for the other side, just don't get too crazy with it. Like, that's the thing with today's national media. That's the thing with journalism today. Like, it hardly exists. Like with these debate shows and stuff, they sometimes go too far with the narratives that don't make sense at all. So I mean, I feel Roger on that, but sometimes people just go too far, man.
Yeah, it's the new era, man. It's the new style of TV show that it got to be. You got to play the bad guy, I play the good guy. You know what I'm saying? On this issue, uh, you a Jordan guy, I'm a LeBron guy. You know what I'm saying? And if we got Boogie and Boogie's on injured reserve today, he healthy scratch.
Right.
But if we got Boogie, he's the COVID guy. So now we all got our sides and we gotta protect. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole diagramic of diagram of shows these days. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's frustrating, bro, especially when they talk about your squad and Skip Bayless is bringing up idiotic. Well, if Tom Brady would have had the ball 30 minutes instead of 23, we would have won. Well, he
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't. What do you mean? That makes no sense.
Yep. And Clinton
You
just
couldn't
mentioned
stop
about
us, so who cares? You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? If your defense was playing better, then he would have had the ball longer. Or if he wasn't throwing stupid picks, then he would have had the ball longer. Don't come up with these what if scenarios. This ain't Marvel. Come on, bro. It's not a comic book. We doing
Right.
what if scenarios? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, man. Like that's how they treat it now. Because I remember before we played the Ravens on Monday night, they did a little comic book strip type deal with the introduction or whatever with Samuel L. Jackson. So they turned
Right.
like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson into comics and stuff. So that's how people are looking at sports now, man. Like we need to get that journalistic integrity back into sports, man. That's just a big problem to me, man. And that's why I don't pay attention to these shows anymore. I get the content from, like I said last week, I get the content from the little people, dog. The people that's trying to come up, man. Just us locally, basically. That's so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we not gonna do. I didn't want to like even what we doing right now, I don't want to set up the show like we don't go into the show and it's like, yo, Chuck, you got to say the defense sucks, and then I'm gonna prove why it
Right.
don't suck. Like we don't have that type of debate like that. You know what I'm saying? It's so silly, man. It's like manufactured and it's fake to me. And the radio stations do it. A lot of local radio stations, they do it all over ESPN, all over Fox, all over CBS. It's just tiresome at this point. Like, just be real. Just like we real fans, bro. Let's just come from real fans. Like, okay, we be loving up the Chiefs because it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we real fans. Like, if it's something that's bad, we've talked about the bad things too. You know, but you don't want to be manufacturing talking points. Like that's crazy to me. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's entertaining though when they be wrong though. That's the best part about it. When Skip just spent a whole week talking about what Patrick Mahomes ain't gonna do, and then we go out and kick the Bills' ass like we did last night.
Right. And Cal hurt too, man. You know, he hopped on the Bills wagon all of a sudden.
Oh,
He got
he's
quiet
bad
the
too.
first week. So
We only watch him because of Joy anyway.
right. If it wasn't for Joy, we wouldn't be watching this show.
Right.
Yeah, Led Clinton, you know, that basically became our Achilles heel. That's why we didn't get to the bowl that year. But besides that, bro, like let's move on to the defense side of the ball of this game, dude. Like defense, man, that defensive line was superb, man. We talking about Frank and Chris Jones and Passion got in the backfield too, and Okafor, man. Everybody on that defensive line ate. And like speaking of Okafor, man, Josh Allen, man, he showed that he was a sore loser, dog. Like when Okafor got that sack, whatever, he threw the ball at him. Like, come on,
He
bro.
was big mad, man. That's frustration, bro.
Yeah,
That's
they was getting
that
frustrated, man.
frustration coming out, and they was getting dominated. That tells you that how bad they was getting dominated.
Yep,
That they was mad, and
yep.
I think it's always like the chicken or the egg because the secondary played out of their mind.
Oh
Everybody
man.
in the secondary balled out,
Oh man. Can we
and
talk about
then
Juan
so
Thornhill? Can we talk about
man,
Juan for a
Juan
sec?
Thornhill, my sleeper pick, hell of a
Juan,
game.
yes, bro. It
Juan
looked like
gone.
Juan. It looked like Juan was pretty much back yesterday, dude. Like,
He looked
like
like
he was
Juan
hitting.
Thornhill.
He was hitting. He was breaking on the ball well, dog. He was reacting to every play pretty well. It looked like he
Should have
fresh.
had an interception. Should have had an interception.
Yeah, you're right.
Um, so that's the question. Like, who affects who? Like, is the D line playing good affect the secondary, or does the secondary affect the D line, making them look better? Like, it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? But the way they was so in sync yesterday, man, nobody gonna beat that defense yesterday. And
Right.
speaking of that, we don't give him enough credit, man. Anthony Hitchens, another great game
Yeah, Hitchens
under
was
the
solid, man.
radar.
And now Clinton, I mean, yeah, in a sense, but the same in a sense because Ben Neiman's out there. You know I'm gonna get on him. But at the same time, man, I mean, yeah, that might be our weakness. But other than that, man, our defense is
It
pretty
is our
solid.
weakness. It is
Yeah,
our weakness. But
yeah,
it didn't matter yesterday. Did it
right.
matter, Queen?
No, it
Answer
didn't
that.
matter.
And Willie Gay is a big improvement on that, and they could still improve. But man, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Anthony Hitchens had a hell of a game yesterday,
Yeah, he was stout.
regardless.
He was
And
stout at filling those gaps.
I didn't even I didn't even know Ben Neiman was out there, which is a good thing. And
Right.
Damian Wilson is quietly having a good season. They not superstars and they not the front page guys, but you got to give respect when it's due, man.
Yeah, and
They
like
had good games.
yeah, and Tucker mentioned on the last episode, he's saying that how Hitchens is so vital in the middle because he know how to communicate with the defense, with the secondary backers and with the front line. So having him out there is extremely important. And I just remember before we acquired Hitchens, Cowboys fans were saying that he was pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like not like no Pro Bowl level guy, but just solid enough that he knows his role well and he plays it well.
Well, man, we don't need a Pro Bowl level guy, man. As long as he can just hold up and do his job and be solid. Let's get a solid guy. Of course, you want an All Pro guy, but I don't think it's necessary because we got a lot of All Pros and a lot of Pro Bowl caliber players on this defense. Um, Breland had a hell of a game. Of course, now Sneed gonna be one of the top 10 corners in the league,
Yeah,
and he
man.
might sneak into a top 10 defensive player of the league because that
Yeah,
boy's a beast.
yeah,
Like
man.
he almost had 2 sacks. He almost had an interception. He's smacking everything that move. He's covering. Man, he can do it all, man. He what we pick him the 5th round.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Snead is a dog, bro. Pit bull.
yep. We
He
picked him
got
pretty good.
chippy yesterday too. That was the best thing I seen under the radar is when Okafor had the incident. Everybody that was coming to the scene to help. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen Frank run from where he was all the way down there. Tyreek was coming off the sideline. Like that shows a team mentality, bro. Like we all dogs. We all in this together. And then you
Exactly.
ain't about to do that to my boy. Well, I'm just gonna stand here and watch you. You know what I'm saying? So I love that part of it. The defense played lights out yesterday, bro. We could
Yeah,
have beat anybody.
yep. And
And I
Brian,
know we ain't talking about next week, but if Tom Brady throw 3 picks against us, it
oh,
ain't gonna work, bro.
it's done with,
We
bro.
not Green Bay.
It's done with film. And like Brian Breshine had me cracking up, dog. Like he was like he posted a clip of Pops on Dwayne's birthday. He was like, "Y'all sick tripping up in here? Y'all sick tripping up in here?" He's talking about Patrick Mahomes coming from the sideline to protect his moves.
Right. Nah, Pat Smart. Pat knew. He
Yeah,
ain't trying to get nobody suspended from the Super Bowl. Tyreek, you better sit down, boy.
right.
Because we need you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Tyreek, man, he can be a little bit of a knucklehead at times. I'm not saying like him in general, but like just on the field and stuff. Tyreek like the clown at times and stuff. You know what I mean? He like
I
to
mean,
be about the
in
action
the
too.
moment, man, in the moment, you just going. You know what I'm saying? So that probably was just more emotion, and
Right.
he probably wasn't even thinking like. But yeah, they was chippy yesterday. There was a lot of talking going on. As far as the Bills, man, I do respect Stephon Diggs, bro, and I think Josh Allen, even though he's not there yet, I think he on his way, and we'll see him again. We'll definitely see them again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Clint.
And the way
Who's
the
the best team
Packers
by far,
play,
dude? Who's
the
the
way
best
the
team by
Packers
far?
play, they ain't on our level neither.
Right, man. And listen, dog. I mean, I know this is a cheap show, but dog, I want to talk about the Packers real quick, dog. I told people this entire time, dog, that Aaron Rodgers is gonna choke, man. Like when he's not doing all that front running and stuff, when he got to play from behind, and his team needs him to come through with a game-winning drive or a game-leading drive, he chokes, man. Because on that third down, he would have been better off just running the ball. And if he didn't make the end zone, he probably been stopped short at the 2 or 1 yard line. Then he got another down. And another thing that stood out to me about the Packers is his head coach lost faith in Aaron Rodgers. Like they kicked the field goal instead. I'm like, y'all kicking a field goal? And it's close to the 2 minute warning?
I I kind of get it, but yeah, it was bad. But Aaron Rodgers should have ran and he should have ran for that touchdown, bro.
He choked. He choked, bro. He simply choked.
And
He got nervous.
but this is what I'm saying. If he runs, he probably scores. If he doesn't score, he's getting stopped inside the 5. Then that would give me the motivation to go for it. Well, I would have been all 4 downs anyway, but that definitely would have gave me the motivation to go for it on 4th down if I'm at the 3 instead of being at the 5th, 13 or wherever they was at. But man, it looked like a lot of green grass out there. And
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is older, but he's still got some wheels. And Chad Henne would have ran it in now.
Right. Exactly. He put his body on the
Right.
line. It's like this, dog. Like people keep making excuses for Aaron Rodgers too, and it kills me. You talking about? Do you guys know how fast defensive linemen are? Like, bro, he could at least got inside the 5 yard line. He could have got to the 2 yard line. At that, at least. You
Eh,
know what I mean?
Man, he playing for the Super Bowl. Apparently, he don't want to go back to the
I'm
Super
like,
Bowl.
fam,
So
you don't want to give Tom Brady back to football with almost 2 minutes left remaining in the game. You gotta stop him. You don't want to do that. Come on now, it's crazy.
I got a point about Tom Brady. Just I'm not gonna say it because we're gonna use it when we do our shows next week. But I got something about Tom Brady, and we'll talk about it off camera. But go back to the game. Hell of a win, a team win, a complete win. That was an A-minus game. We still can play better than that. Like that's the scary part.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We had some drops, we had some miscues, we had a fight. You know what I'm saying? We still can play better than that. So it's gonna be more difficult without Eric Fisher, but man, we got 2 weeks to prepare. And you give Andy Reid, EB, Kafka,
oh man,
you give them 2 weeks, man, we be ready for anybody. All right, get out.
yeah,
Come on, brother. Chill,
yeah.
man.
You're right about that, man. You're right about that. You give Andy Reid no time to prepare for a game, bro. I'm like, this is just like a bye week for him. You know what I mean? And we already know his track record in regards to that. So we'll be
Yep.
ready to
And
go,
then
man.
you get Snead back. Who else had a concussion? I think Armani got banged up, and
Yeah.
was Fenton banged up? Did Fenton get a concussion?
I don't remember, but I remember him getting that interception. I remember that.
Sweet.
Yep. That
Yeah,
pretty much sealed the game right there.
I thought he was gonna run it back. Um, when did you officially know the game was over?
When he got the interception, I was looking for a bottle to pop. I'm like, which bottle am I gonna pop tonight?
So Fenton interception was the last one.
Yeah, that was it. I just knew it. Like, yeah, we got this, bro. So at the time it
We
was 31-15. We was up
oh,
31.
okay. When Travis scored that last one, and he was just like wide open in the end zone, I was like, yeah,
No,
it's over.
I was like, how dare you give Patrick Mahomes a layup? How dare you give him a
A
layup, dog?
layup, bro. Like it
Especially
was
with
just the
like,
easiest touchdown I've ever seen. And so I was like, yeah, they I don't know what time it was. I had to rewatch the game, but they cut to the sidelines and they showed Josh Allen and his body language. I was like, yep, they beat. It's over.
oh yeah. I mean, you can tell by the way it was getting frustrated. Like they kind of knew it was over because like we start getting frustrated like that. I mean, that's just a desperate way of trying to get back in the game. Like you have that little bit of hope to get back in against the Chiefs, but you know it's most likely not going to happen. So
Yeah. I say 24-12. I was like, but you don't want to put the nail in the coffin that early, so yeah, that Trav was too open. Like I could have threw it to Trav for real.
right,
So all in all, man, it was a good game, bro. A statement game. Like, stop playing with us, bro. And I think we got another one in us because they gonna doubt us all week. You get ready. Anybody listening to this show or not or whatever, get ready for the hate. Get ready for the doubt. Get ready for the non-believers. Sometimes in our very own circle of Chief fans is gonna come, but man, that ain't nothing but motivation. And Petty Mahomes Super Bowl is, man, that's gonna be beautiful. You
uh,
think they not gonna get up for this game? Like it's already Tom Brady. It's already the Super Bowl, and we got another announcement. I don't know if it's really out there yet about how they gonna treat the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that on the next week's show too. So this is just a quick recap of the game. Hell of a game, man. I hated that we couldn't be out in the streets last night, but
man,
yeah, it's a
people were
pandemic.
still out in the streets anyway. I seen footage
You-
from the plaza and downtown anyway. So
yeah, you know I can't city do, but hey man, it's fun, man. It's fun, and we got big things coming for us, including Boogie. Uh, got the new podcast equipment coming soon. We got man, we about to change the whole game on y'all. So we're just gonna try to keep getting better, and better, and put more content out there. And got some few side projects that we might be looking at too. So,
Yeah,
and then I'm ready for the game.
yeah, man. It's only gonna go up from here, dog. And before we wrap it up, dog, I just want to say this real quick, man. Did you see the video Tom Brady posted of him and Gronk? They did a reenactment of the 2018 AFC Championship game celebration when they did the Bad Boy for Life.
Yeah, I seen it. I didn't really recognize what it was. They just look corny to me. But so what happened? They did this when they played us in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, like they was leaving the locker room all happy and stuff. Like we told y'all, and then they did it again last night after they beat the Packers. I was like, oh, y'all bringing that up again? All right, you already putting gasoline on a fire that was already lit. Woo wee, man, it's got to be payback than a mug, dog. Because we ain't forgot about 2018, fellas. We ain't forgot about
What?
that.
Didn't they lose that Super Bowl though?
Nah, they won that Super Bowl. They beat the Rams that year.
Oh, that was when they beat the Rams.
Yeah.
That performance. Anyway, okay. That's good. It's more motivation, more fuel. Like I said, Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly. I
Patty
said
Mahomes.
thank you, because everybody gonna see that now. Everybody gonna see that, use that as motivation. So thank you.
Let's get that trending for next week. Hashtag Patty Mahomes. That's it.
Yeah, let's do it, bro.
So petty.
Let's do it, bro. All right, y'all. That'll be it for this episode of Kingdom Cast. So I thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on all your social media platforms. Until the next
apologize for my son. He's a wild child.
Yeah. John, he has a hard time, controlling his kids. You know what I mean? Don't worry. He'll improve. He'll improve, y'all. Don't worry. He'll get together.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see y'all later on in the week. We got some special guests for y'all. Man, stay tuned, like and subscribe, and we'll keep doing what we doing.
Yeah, so Kingdom Cast, we out of here. AFC champs, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Free Trey Songz. Free Trey Songz, man.
Yeah.